Matthew 11 and 28, Jesus says, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Today I want to talk about pressure. Talking about pressure. How often do we use the term pressure? My grandmother and my mother used a pressure cooker, oftentimes to can or sometimes even to cook food. 2016 we had our 100th year anniversary, and it was a good day. A lot of challenges that day, if you remember. But as I came up here to get ready for turn on the air, get ready about 7 o'clock, someone had put a pressure cooker right in the front door. Now, this is not a year after they had the bombing in Boston, and it was a pressure cooker they had the bomb in. And so I knew if we called the authorities, it would ruin our whole day. So I suspect it was a prank. I went back and told Gina, I said, Gina, somebody's put a pressure cooker in front of the church, in front of the doors. I don't know if it's a bomb or not, but I'm going to get a shovel and go up there and poke around on it and rope it and drag it away from the door. If you hear an explosion, you know it was a bomb. And so I came up here with the shovel poking at it, got a rope, drug it away, and finally decided to open it. And all it was a pressure cooker. I suspected somebody watching from the bushes, and if you'd have seen me, you'd have been laughing, I suppose. But anyway, but some of you know what a pressure cooker is. There's a lot of things in life that bring us pressure. You go and check your tires. Your air pressure is important to have the proper pressure in your tires. Many of the gases that we use every day are under pressure. Oxygen tanks and nitrogen tanks and propane gas. All of these things are designed and exist under pressure. And so life offers a lot of pressure. In fact, many of you take a pill for your blood pressure. And I'll tell you right now, I'm having trouble with mine today. So Brother Heffern said a good sermon lasts 10 minutes, so that may be what you get today is a good sermon, okay? If you pray for me, I need your prayers. And so when Jesus talks about these burdens and the yoke and the things that we carry and the things that we deal with, I think much of what he's talking about is many of the pressures that we have in life. And these come from all kinds of areas, Probably what he's talking about right here, I often thought these were the pressures that people in ministry might have. Because it's the Lord talking, and take his yoke upon you and take his burden upon you. And these things are light, these things are easy. But in all probability, he's talking to every one of us today about just the pressures in life. And it may be dealing with sin or past sins. It may be dealing with events that are going on right now or challenges that we face right now. But two things that Jesus brings out right here. Number one, he says a couple of things I believe that it really brings to light the point that he's trying to make. First of all, he said, those that labor and are heavy laden. So it's the job that you do and the burden that you carry. And so it's what you face every day, and perhaps it's some responsibility that you may have, or maybe some pressure or some load that you carry. And so he tries to share with us that his yoke is easy, serving him is easy, following him is easy. It's the best choice for mankind. And any responsibility or burden that you may bear, that load is light. That load is light. So let's look at a couple of pressures that we have today, a couple of things that may cause us pressure, even in the life of a Christian. First of all, I would say the things that are going on right now in our society bring us a good bit of pressure in our life. Seems like everywhere we turn, we focus on the pandemic, we focus on the economic problem, we focus on the racial problem, we focus on all these pressures that we have in life today. And it seems like the world tells us and dictates to us we have to be at the right place in the right time. So much of this pressure that we face today comes as a result of timing. I mean, there's a lot of people that their life is just filled with just rushing around and chaos and trying to be in the right place at the right time. And everything is based upon timing. People who are in the stock market, they know how important, you have to buy and sell at the right time to make money. And it seems like a lot of that it bleeds down to us in everything that we do. We are forced and rushed and just constantly reminded that timing is everything. And you know, even the Lord himself, the Bible talks about that he became weary and tired, and he went into the mountain to pray and to rest. So these things are important, and we need to have these things implemented in our life so that we can rest and relax and recuperate from time to time, because the life oftentimes puts a lot of pressure on us today. And so I would tell you, if you're dealing with the pressures of your past, and I think that's probably what he's talking about right here, with issues and sins and events that happen, and then because of these, we have a lot of pressure. The burden that we bear is heavy, and Jesus said, listen, he said, if you want to relieve some of this pressure, he said, just follow me. Make me the main part of your life. And what I encourage Christians to do, or what I encourage his followers to do, it's a light. It's not easy in the way that we think of an easy job, but it's not overbearing, and the burden is not too much that we can carry, we can handle. I think there are a lot of people today who feel like, just one more thing is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. And Jesus said, following him is that way. In 1 John, he talks about it. He says the commandments are not grievous. The commandments are not burdensome. And that's what he's talking about right here. Following him and living for him is not a difficult thing. It's not an impossible task. And I think what the Lord offers many of us, and we need to accept this, is a relief valve. There's a lot of things. Some of you, in I guess the modern day pressure cooker is the Instapot. Some of you have one of those. Gina has one. I notice sometimes when she's getting ready to, set the table or put the meal out, she often has to flip that relief valve, that pressure valve, and let that pressure off. And there's a lot of people like that in life. They're filled with pressure, and it's almost unbearable, and they have no relief valve. Sooner or later, something's gonna explode. Now, fire departments and railroad companies, they understand a term called levee. And it's when you have a pressurized tank with some kind of usually flammable gas that's being heated, and it's an acronym that stands for boiling liquid, expanding vapors, explosion, or emergency. And so the idea is when things are under constant pressure, and the pressure builds and builds and builds, sooner or later something's going to rupture, something's going to explode. And a lot of people are like that, because of what they're carrying around or what they're dealing with. You ever feel like this is just one more thing that's going to push you over the edge? And I'm not talking about just do something crazy, but I'm talking, or maybe so, but I'm talking just one more thing is going to just. My little niece one time, she was traveling with my mother, and something, I don't know, my mom was getting on to her, fussing or something, and she said, "Granny, you just going to drive me to drink?" And she was about 5 years old. And my mom said, "What do you think?" Well, that's what happened. Ain't soon, they drove her to drinking. That's what she heard. But some people are under that kind of pressure. This is going to drive me over. It's going to drive me to do something, and that's what pressure does. And that's what Jesus is talking about right here. This pressure that we're all under from time to time, we need that relief valve, and God is that relief valve. He offers that relief from pressure. And so whether you're dealing with your past, sinful past, or whatever, whether you're dealing with the events and issues of the day, we need the Lord to help us deal with that pressure. And when we go to Him, when we go to His Word, and we go to Him in prayer, that is our relief valve. That is our, and notice what He says. And listen, He said, the burden that He, requires, the responsibility He gives us, it's a light burden. And the yoke, the work that we have to do it's not something that we're not incapable of accomplishing. We can do this. And so I would encourage you today, you maybe feel like you're just under the pressure, and it's getting you down, it's wearing you down, and you're almost to the point where you're ready to throw in the towel or give up. Jesus says, focus on Him. and come and be a part of His family, and be a part of His work, and be one of His children. He said, then you can handle and deal with the pressures of life. The pressures of life. He said, because that's what the Christian life is, that's what the Christian work is. It's not too difficult if the pressure is so strong that we can't deal with it. He helps us and helps us deal with the pressure. And so I'd ask you this morning, if you think about this, first of all, if you don't know Christ as your personal Savior, that worldly pressure is going to continue to just to come down on you, to come in on you, and the pressure will continue to build. You'll look for ways to relieve the pressure, but nothing really will until you find God. And then if you're a Christian who perhaps have forgotten the fact that God is our relief valve, God is our rest, and He's our refuge, and I would ask you to trust Him today. And come to Him today. And commit all of this to Jesus Christ, and He will help. And so I would ask you now, as we're going, Brother James, if you'll come and help prepare for an invitation. Miss Christy, Miss Pat, if you'll come, and if you think about this short message today, what God may be saying to you, maybe the pressure that you're under, would you let Him deal with that and be your relief valve today? As we stand together and as we sing, you come.
160.